remember I ended up scoring like a bicycle kick against Ajax, but then they called it offside. I was like, sign me right now. Yeah, I ended up getting the opportunity to go to Liverpool and Newcastle as well. But yeah, I was like training and watching guys like Raheem Sterling before he signed with the first team and stuff.
What was that like though, playing for Canada at the 17 World Cup?
It was an amazing feeling. All the Jamaicans would like storm the field after, and then they came up to me, and I guess they knew I was Jamaican or could they just see it. And they're like, yo, come play for Jamaica, come play for Jamaica. I'm like, oh, man, like, we'll see. Tell your coach to talk to me. Talk to me.
These are the players talking to you?
Like, no, like just like the local fans and stuff. Yeah. They just came.
They were doing their research for
you. Why is your lineup always fresh? I'm like, oh, I do my own hair. And they're like, oh, can you just like try to cut my hair? I'm like, hey, we could try, man. We could try. It might not be good, but we could try.
Were you lining up teammates at like camps and like during the season?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like it was me, my gear, and my boots.
Nice. I love that.
Do you love the Premier League? Because I know I do. And here at the Footy Culture, we are here to bless you with an exclusive discount from our friends at Fubo TV, where you can stream all the Premier League matches live in 4K. Do you love watching Heung-min Son, Bukayo Saka, Manchester United? All of that is available to stream exclusively here in Canada on Fubo TV. So hit our link in the bio for that exclusive offer. Now let's get into the action.
Welcome back to another episode of the Footy Culture Podcast. Today we have a very special one. But before we get to that, I'm joined today by James and Dan.
What's going on?
The Fluminense boys.
Twinning over here.
On the back.
Fluminense fan club.
Brasileiros, and another Brasileiro on the couch over here, Matosinho.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then we have not only a champion on the pitch, the champion off the pitch, Mr. Kicked Up Culture himself, Chris Nanco. How are you doing?
How you doing, man? I'm good.
Hello.
Doing good,
bro. Doing good.
It's going good, man. So we're pretty much going to start off with a little bit about you and how you kind of got started in the footy life. Like what made you want to play?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in a very sports-related family. Like my brother, I have two older brothers. One played soccer, one played football, American football.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I grew up just basically watching them, and then also my dad played soccer back in the day too as well. So I grew up literally watching my older brother. So ever since I was born, I was at the field, watching him and stuff, and was born kind of into it. Had the ball at my feet since I was a baby. I just fell in love with it since then, really.
Yeah, perfect. So we've chatted a little bit before as well. So we know that your favorite team is Real Madrid. How did that become a thing?
So the way that, I got into supporting Real Madrid and liking Real Madrid was through a player, actually, which was Robinho. So, So back in the day, like, he was my favorite player. Like, I kind of gravitate towards the Brazilian style of play. I like the Brazilian players a lot. And then, that's why I love Real Madrid. They always have the best of the best Brazilians. So I think it was 2005 when Robinho went there, and I was following him since like when he was at Santos, and then Real Madrid, a little bit at Man City, but yeah, and then Real Madrid, and I just love Real Madrid ever since then.
True,
bro. I think Robinho's got like the best step overs in the game, bro.
Yeah,
like no one can hit step overs like that guy, bro.
Step over
crazy.
King, bro.
That guy he actually was different. So underrated. If his career went on a little bit longer, I think he would have been like rated high.
Yeah. I mean, shame what's going on now with him, but
it
is what it is, bro.
It's sad.
So I'm guessing that's your idol then?
Yeah, I would say Robinho. Like a lot of other Brazilians, but I would say like top idol is probably Ronaldinho, and then after that, so it would be like Robinho, Neymar, and like trickle down.
Oh, so you just love Brazil.
Yeah.
I rate that.
Don't gas them up. No. Or those guys, I guess.
So you said your background is
Jamaican.
Yeah. Well, national team now. Hot and cold sometimes.
It is. And it's gonna take a lot of things for that national team to keep pushing forward, but the players are there, the talent is there and everything. I think just like the organization and things like that, it comes down to that as well too, to uplift the country and stuff like that. But the talent is definitely there. You see it throughout the years, and you see all the players that are have Jamaican roots that are playing for big clubs or going overseas to play different places. If they all just played for Jamaica, it would be an amazing team.
For sure. I know. Yeah, it's the second nationality that people always choose, right, in some of these countries. But is Jamaica the team you support when the World Cup comes down to time? Canada,
No,
Brazil.
honestly, yo, in all honesty, growing up, I supported Brazil more than I supported any other country. I remember, I think it was like World Cup, maybe like 2008 or something, when Brazil got knocked out, I think to like France or something like that. I remember I was like watching
2006, bro. Don't remind me.
2006, right? Yeah, I was watching. I remember I was watching in my basement and stuff, and I was just like. I was like in tears, bro. I was crying.
They had a good team too.
Zidane was on one that game, bro. This guy was dancing on the pitch, bro.
That's when like guys were like Kaká were coming up and then just amazing and stuff like that. So like I was watching, I was like just tearing up watching the game, bro.
So you're watching footy at an early age.
Yeah, I was definitely watching footy at an early age. Got into it really early. I was like one of those kids, you know, you go to school, you come home, and you're like straight to YouTube watching highlights. So yeah, it was like anything soccer, like it was that's what my day consisted of.
Were your dad and brother also Madrid fans?
No. So my brother's actually an Arsenal fan.
Ooh, Gunners. Interesting.
Yeah, he's a gunner.
A gooner.
I'm literally between like my friends and him or like any family and stuff. I'm literally the only Madrid fan. Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, like again, back to like how your story and how you started, like the grassroots, where it all began. How did you get involved in the sport? Like your parents obviously put you into the game.
Yeah, I mean,
was it obviously, especially where you were growing up too? Like, what was the availability in terms of like the facilities and what teams and stuff did you really participate with?
Yeah, I mean, ever since I was younger, I mean, I remember I started in like, you know, those Tim Hortons house league leagues and stuff like that. And then I went to Brampton Youth when I was about 6 years old. That's when I like really started to see like, you know, a better level and things kind of like becoming more organized and everything like that, and playing with better players and stuff. You know, my age group, we had a lot of great players that I started playing with, guys like Kyle Larian. You know, there's guys that also went pro, like Justin Stoddard and stuff. And then you were playing against guys like Richie Larea, Kwame Awuah, that were playing for like Uruguay at the time from the Toronto area. So yeah, it was like that's when you know I started to see myself take it even more seriously, even at such a young age, like 6. I didn't really realize it, but you know, like the body knew what was going on. But yeah, like that's kind of where I started, and then from there till I was about 12 years old, I was on Brampton. Then I went to Sigma, and then yeah, that's when things got a little bit even more professional and stuff like that. And then I started traveling back and forth like overseas and stuff. And then from there I went to Syracuse University, and then I signed pro after that.
Awesome. And if you're recalling now, like one of those moments that you had growing up playing with like Sigma, were there like some moments you guys had playing against like obviously teams overseas and stuff like that?
Yeah. I remember like when literally the year that I went there and I transferred from Brampton, it was like they wanted to bring in a lot of good players. So like they brought in guys from like probably like the top 3 guys from like all the like local teams. And they took us out to Amsterdam. Oh, nice. And we went and played against a lot of academies out there. So we played against, I remember one of the games we played against was like Ajax. We played against, we played against the Ajax youth team, and it was like they were like 2 years younger than us, and they just like destroyed us.
The younger guys were beating us.
Yeah, they destroyed us. But it was like one of the most amazing games ever. I remember like that game, like everybody was like saying like I was doing so well and stuff. Like I went out there, bought a pair of Vapors, and I was just like, all right, time to turn up. And then I ended up scoring. I remember I ended up scoring like a bicycle kick against Ajax, but then they called it offside. I was like, sign me right now.
That was the one.
That was one of the most memorable.
That's crazy. So let's go back to Sigma. So you signed. Well, you went there when you were around, what, 12 years old?
12 years old, yeah.
So you had Bobby as your coach.
Yeah.
What did he teach you? Because he's probably one of the best Canadian coaches out there.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing that he taught me growing up, I think, was like how to be like, it was just versatility and how to be more, how to be more versatile, like when to take on players, when to use my skills, when to use my speed. And then he put me, when I went to Sigma, he put me on the left wing. And that's kind of where I fell in love with, you know, being a winger and stuff. Because when I was on Brampton, I was playing all over the place. You know, there's times I played defense. There was times I played midfield, forward, everywhere. But yeah, when I went to Sigma, I was strictly left wing. And then that's kind of when I started to develop a left foot as well too. It's not the greatest still, but but you know, it could do a few things now. But yeah, I think that's the main thing that he kind of taught me. And I just learned more about the game tactically because, you know, he's a tactical mastermind. But yeah, I think those are the main points.
Okay. So staying with Sigma, 1995 was probably one of Canada's golden generations. Yeah. Probably maybe the golden generation with Richie Larea, Kyle Larian, and Kwame.
Kwame, yeah.
And I'm sure there's more out there, but we're just going to name those three for now. How was that? How was playing with that team?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was crazy because before that, when I was playing for Brampton, like Kwame, Richie, like all those guys, they played for Uruguay, and then it was me, Kyle, and then we had a few other guys on our team that played for Brampton, and we were just rivals. I remember one of the funniest stories I always tell people is that we had a game, I think it was at BMO, we had a game against Uruguay, and they ended up beating us, and it was Richie on a free kick, like near the end of the game. And then it was actually on my birthday too. And then it was crazy because we were friends off the field and stuff like that too, right? So he scores the penalty and then he comes to my birthday party afterwards. So yeah, it was crazy. But then yeah, going to Sigma and you know, joining forces with those guys, and it was a nice feeling because, you know, all the guys from Brampton, we were like the athletes, and then those guys were the more technical guys, the guys from Toronto, because, you know, they played futsal and everything like that. So they're the more technical guys, but then when you put it together and you piece it all together, it was like it worked really well. Yeah, because we put them all in the midfield, and then we were all forwards and everything, so it was like unstoppable.
So was that Sigma 95 team the GOAT Ontario rep team?
I would say so. I mean, if anybody out there wants to contest it, you can come and play us or something. But yeah, I would say that was a big team there.
You got to make some AI that could put all the teams together, like make them like play, see who the ultimate rep team was. But let's move to 15-year-old now. When you had trials at Liverpool,
crazy.
That is pretty crazy. How was the environment? Like, how was the different? What was the difference going from here to Liverpool?
How did it happen too?
It was insane. I mean, that was through Sigma as well. You know, I was doing really well at a young age, and they just had connections to bring players over and stuff, and they were always doing the camps where they were bringing over professional coaches and college coaches and stuff like that. So there was a lot of exposure, and then I ended up getting the opportunity to go to Liverpool and Newcastle as well. Oh, and then I was training out there. It was a great environment. You know, like out there, football comes first. Yeah. You know, they build school schedules around football, and it's just, you know, a kid's dream out there. But yeah, I was like training and watching guys like Raheem Sterling before he signed with the first team and stuff. He was in the academy and stuff like that. So it was a great experience. And you know, like I think that's kind of like what was pushing me to like even go further, and that was kind of like my first taste at like a pro environment.
That at these trials though, because we've heard a lot about how these foreigners when they go to England, they have a tough time because
they don't get treated right.
They don't get treated
poorly. Oh, you're just Canadians coming here in our home.
Yeah. How was that experience for you?
Honestly, like I mean, nobody was blatantly saying that to my face. Maybe they said that like afterwards. But, nobody was blatantly saying it to my face or anything. But like I was doing really well when I was going out there. You know, like I was playing with teams. Even when I remember when I went to Germany, you know, we played against guys. We played against like Dortmund and teams like that. I remember I ended up winning a penalty against Dortmund. I didn't take it. The captain took it and missed, but it's a story for another day.
Would you have scored?
I would have scored for sure. But yeah, like you know, when I was on those trials, I was doing really well. But then especially back then, it was just tougher to sign to teams back then, especially because all of the rules and stuff, and then I didn't have any family, no European passport and stuff like that out there, so it was just tougher. But I think I was doing really well, and you know, like when I was out there, the guys were treating me really well, and you know, I didn't really have any problems.
Oh, you're like the first person to say that. Everybody comes on, they're like, they're just treating me like shit. They're all like pushing me around, making fun. Well, that's good, honestly.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for them, but
what would you say though, like the biggest difference in style of play was between here and then the UK?
Yeah, I think over there it's just more tactical. You know, guys, like especially at the youth level too, like you see the difference in the way kids mentally are with the game. I think here and like in America and stuff like that, like you know, we have all the athletes, we have guys that are going to run up and down and everything like that. It's just a matter of the tactical part, and you don't have many coaches that teach the tactical part.
So thinking that the level you're at in terms of the fitness and the strength, were you at par, would you say?
Yeah, when I went over there, I feel like I was running laps around the guys.
Okay.
It's just like tactically, like, you know, they're a little like they're a step ahead because they know how to position themselves, right? They know, like, you know, where the ball's going to go next and stuff like that. It's just that I was like probably, even though I'm small now, like back then I was a tall kid, but and then I just stopped growing. But yeah, even back then, like, I was like stronger than the guys out there and stuff like that. But yeah, tactically they were just a level ahead of me.
Preparation wise, like when you guys were training here prior to all of these, like, you know, trials and like showcase and stuff, were you guys training like regularly, daily, or like two times a week?
So for Sigma, like, we trained, I think it was like 3 times a week at the time, and then we played like games. So we were basically playing like 4 times a week.
Okay.
But then I was doing so many other things. I was doing like school soccer. So like I was literally training like every day. Yeah. So I was at a good spot to go out there and stuff. But then when you get out there, they're training every day, sometimes 2 times a day, like even when they're in season and stuff like that. They're getting pulled out of classes to go train. Like it's insane.
Yeah. Especially obviously growing up, the football and like the system when it was obviously back then was completely different, right? Yeah. It wasn't like a focus or a priority as it is to now. You know, some parents even have their kids training 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week. And then on top of that, there's additional training, one-on-one training, you know, even additional camps that they're putting into. So it you can definitely see the difference that comes to it. And would you say it's needed?
Yeah, I would say, definitely. Yeah, it's definitely needed if we're going to catch up to, you know, those European teams and stuff like that, or countries. You know, I think that Canada soccer like has grown over the years a lot, and it's doing well. I think that, but we are still behind, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, we gotta kind of close that gap, and, you know, that hopefully that will come. But yeah, I think it's headed in the right direction for the most part, especially at the youth level with all the training that's available now. But yeah, we still have a big job to do, a gap to fill.
I'm hearing, like, not rumors, but I'm hearing people, even some coaches and some facility owners, like, they're looking into getting, you know, more of like a system or even like a schooling where, you know, it's soccer-based schooling as well. Like halfway through the day, you're focused on the soccer aspect of things, the training, the preparation, you know, just whatever it is to do the training. And then the second half of the day, you're going to a school kind of system. So you're kind of focused on footy pretty much in the morning, during the day, and then even at night sometimes with your team as well. So it's comparing it to obviously in Europe, how there are those systems where you're football first, schooling second in a way,
exactly.
which is I don't know if it's needed in a way.
Yeah, it's needed, and that's it. Like when you're in Europe, it's like, okay, they're like, ask the kids, okay, do you want to go to school or do you want to be a football player? That's basically what it is. And then you commit as a football player from such a young age, and they're like, okay, like your school comes second. I remember when I was in Germany, I actually got, like, I was there for like I think 2 weeks, and one of the weeks I was with I think it was Werder Bremen. I was with Werder Bremen, and I actually got to go to school with the guys and stuff.
Cool.
So I was like on their like daily routine, and then we would train. We'd wake up, we would train, then we would go to class, and we would take like maybe 1 or 2 classes, and then we would come back and train again.
Yeah.
So
it's a lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
You have to embed that lifestyle into like the kids' minds.
Like
if you want that.
Even when I was younger in high school, like we had like glimpses of it. You know, you see like the guys at the TFC Academy, they would always get pulled out of like 4th period to just go to TFC training and stuff like that. And then you had some schools that were kind of doing like a little soccer program thing. Yeah. But yeah, it's like it's still like it wasn't still like light years ahead.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like we have that for hockey because we have like even in this the trio. What's it called? The hockey place right here, the hockey center.
Sportsville.
Sports Village. It's a huge hockey center that has a hockey school. So they literally train hockey three quarters of the day, and then 1 quarter of the day is just schooling. And I think they have one in Newmarket. Like they have it all over the place. So if they could start getting that for soccer over here,
it'll come in time. It'll come in time. And
I mean, why not, right?
Yeah, you see already like the development, the system has changed compared to how we've been doing when we were growing up.
The last few years even too.
Yeah, in the last few years, like there's no more rep, there's no more OPDS. You're literally there's like, you know, if you're competing or you're not. Kind of thing. And it starts at a young age. Yeah. And now there's obviously the League One system. There's obviously the CPL system coming into its sixth year. 7th year, 6th year now. So there's more opportunity for players
Yeah,
at our age. Well, growing up, not our age, but growing up in Canada. And not our age.
We're old men
now. Let's head back to your trials. So from those trials, did you learn anything that you still use to this day? I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
How to live on my own. No.
That's each part. Even
I think that's like I did like from traveling. I kind of had to like grow up at a young age and stuff. I remember like when I would come back, like all the kids like would just be like going out enjoying life and stuff like that or whatever. Like, and I would be like, yo, like I'm leaving. I'm going to soccer and everything.
Yeah.
It was basically like my job since I was like in like high school. I think like, you just learn those kind of life skills and stuff, how to take care of yourself, how to, feed yourself, all that stuff. And then like just on the field, like, I don't know. I think one of the biggest things was just like individualism and like kind of like how to just be myself. No matter where I went, I was just going to be myself, play how I want to play. And then, enjoy it. I always wanted to play with a smile on my face. And, like that's what soccer was for me. That's what football was for me. So everybody knows, like, when I was playing, I was doing tricks. I always had a smile on my face and everything like that, and that's just the way I was.
You're Brasileiro at heart.
Did you ever stay at, like, I guess, like, those housings with, like, families and stuff?
Yeah. When I was in Belgium, I had a trial with Club Brugge, and
how many trials did you have? First of all? There's another team. There's Liverpool.
And they're all like big teams.
I was with Club Brugge. I think that one was around like a month or something. But
and this is all during high school?
Yeah, all during high
during
school.
the summer breaks, or
during high school and during the summer. I almost like didn't even make it out of high school, but
hey man.
but yeah, it was definitely worth it. But
sure.
I think like Club Brugge, I stayed with like a host family and stuff like that. It wasn't like the host family was good, like but that was a challenging thing because like especially at that age, like I would say I was like a more like introverted. I was kind of shy and stuff like that. But yeah, the host family was good, and then like I was like I'm a homebody, so I didn't really care to do much and stuff like that. I was just like I was good, like just staying in the house, going to play footy, and then I was good.
Speaking English, or were you speaking like was it French, Dutch? What do they speak over there?
Both.
Yeah, they speak
French and Dutch
stuff
right?
over there. They speak some weird stuff over there.
Even in Germany, how was that? Like
Germany was not bad. Like I tried to like learn a few words and stuff. I learned how to like count to 10.
Yeah.
Like say left and right and stuff like that, but for the most part, like they did a pretty good job of explaining stuff in English and stuff.
Okay.
I remember when I was doing class in Germany, I went like they were like learning English. They had a class, like an English class, and all these guys were just like, Chris, just do
That's the best.
Yeah, I know a lot of Germans actually speak English. They pretty well.
It's a universal language, so we're pretty lucky on that end with the English.
Yeah.
During your trials out in Europe, did you come up against like any stars that are kind of playing now?
Any stars that are playing now?
You mentioned Sterling earlier. Anyone else?
Yeah,
really?
I feel like Sterling was the biggest one.
Yeah.
And then like I ended up playing against him in the U17 World Cup.
Nice.
When we played against England.
What was that like?
It was crazy, bro. It was actually crazy. Because that's like, I don't know if you guys saw like that goal that went viral for Canada Soccer when Quillen Roberts scored, the goalie.
Oh yeah.
When he scored from like in our own half. But that was against England. That was when like Sterling was playing and stuff. So
I remember that one.
Yeah.
I saw that one. I remember that one.
highlight. Yeah.
So that was an insane game. But yeah, just like seeing him at Liverpool, and then that's when he was trying to like break into the first team. And I think like the next year he broke into the first team, or maybe like a few months later he broke into the first team. And then going to play against him in the World Cup, it was crazy because. Yeah, it was basically like everybody was saying it's like, oh, Chris, it would have been if it wasn't Sterling, it would have been you. I was like,
don't say that. Don't say that.
What was that like though, playing for Canada at the U17 World Cup? Because you scored
Yeah.
the goal to qualify.
to
no?
qualify
Yeah,
against
what was that
Trinidad.
like, bro?
Yeah, that was amazing, bro. And like it's crazy because like everybody knows I don't score goals with my head, but that qualifying goal I scored with my head, and I was just like, wow. But yeah, like going to the U17 World Cup, it was down in Mexico, and just the atmosphere was crazy. Like if I'm playing left wing, I can't even like talk to like my center mid because it was like too loud.
Jeez.
Wow.
But yeah, like, and then my
Crazy.
family got to come out and watch, and we had a lot of Canadian support and stuff. So yeah, it was an amazing feeling.
And this is while you're at Sigma?
That was while I was at Sigma, yeah.
And then a lot of your teammates also got part and picked into that team.
Yeah, we had, so for my age, there was a couple of guys at the qualifying, but like we didn't have any other Sigma guys, I don't think, that were 95 a part of that team. Well, it was actually, so I was actually playing a year up for that team,
Okay.
for the U17s, because that was the 96 age group or 94 age groups U17 World Cup, and then they called up a couple guys like me, Petrasso, and then I think J Hams was there. Yeah.
Also, they, for the most part, they had older guys playing in that.
Yeah,
Because just the age.
Yeah, it was just the age thing, and then so the only 95s on the team were like me, Petrasso. I think that was it.
Yeah. Did you ever get reached by like a Jamaican side?
So my first Canada camp was in Jamaica.
Okay.
And then that was like right after I went to Liverpool. I think I went to Liverpool in like September, and then I think in October or November was when I got called up to the Canada camp. And then it was in Jamaica, and we ended up playing against Jamaica and beating Jamaica. And then I remember they were calling, so Kevin Alleman was playing with us. And they were calling Kevin Alleman like the Canadian Messi and everything. It was like he was killing it. He was killing it. And then I was playing. I was doing really well, and all the Jamaicans would like storm the field after. And then they came up to me, and I guess they knew I was Jamaican, or could they just see it? And they're like, "Yo, come play for Jamaica. Come play for." Jamaica. I'm like, we'll see. Tell your coach to talk to me. Talk to me.
These are the players talking to you.
Like no, like just like the local fans and
Oh,
stuff.
really?
Yeah. They just came.
They were doing their research for
Yeah,
the team.
they came and crashed the field. They're like, "Come play for Jamaica. Come play for Jamaica."
I've heard about it before. Like some like fans doing scouting for some of the teams. Like,
teams,
hey,
yeah.
like this guy is a dual citizenship, or this guy's grandfather is Jamaican.
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
Reach out to him now because
They know their stuff, man. They know their stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it was a great feeling. It was a great feeling because obviously, my family. I have all my family's from Jamaica. I've been there a few times and stuff. So like my family's like deeply rooted in Jamaica, and it's nice to like see your own people like want a part of you and everything like that. So
Sure.
yeah.
Ever a doubt in your mind to go there or no?
No, I feel like I was born and raised in Canada and everything like that, and all my opportunities came in Canada.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to play for Jamaica, but like there was no doubts. I mean, there was no. I always wanted to play for Canada, but there was no doubts that I wanted to play. That I wanted to play for Canada. I knew I wanted to play for Canada, but at the same time, like if Jamaica came calling, like the opportunities didn't come with Canada, I would have no problem playing for Jamaica.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, two options there.
Yeah.
So let's fast track a little bit. So you going to Syracuse, how'd the recruiting process? How was that?
Yeah, so Syracuse probably was the first college that was recruiting me. I had a few other colleges recruit me, but they, I feel like, took it a step ahead. Like their coach came out, like one of their recruiting coach came out to the Sigma camps and stuff like that to watch me. And then he also, I remember when we went to Jamaica for the camp, he came out there and watched me out there. So they just took it the extra mile, and I knew like a couple guys that went there as well because they really love Canadians. And then what was it? They were just there since day one. And then obviously like I had like bad grades because I was always like leaving for school and everything, leaving school and everything like that. So I had to do like a lot of credit recovery classes, a lot of like. Just trying to get my credits sorted out when like I knew I wasn't signing in Europe or anything like that, and then college was gonna be a route for me. Like a lot of colleges just dropped out because they didn't think I was gonna like get my transcripts sorted out and everything like that.
Damn.
And Syracuse just stuck with me, and that's kind of like what meant the most to me and stuff. So that's why I kind of like made this decision to go there.
They believed.
Yeah.
So was NCAA your goal, or did you know you were gonna go farther than?
Yeah, I mean, it was never like, honestly, like growing up, like I was going to Europe and everything like that. I didn't like a lot of like even guys on my team, like we didn't even know like college soccer was a thing at the time. Like, so like, yeah, like it can't like, I think I was like grade 11 when I figured out like, okay, like NCAA is a thing and whatnot. So yeah, I started it like I knew I wanted to go pro, and I knew that was just like another pathway that I can take.
Mm-hmm.
And I just believe that everybody has their time, so let me do this, and go experience this and everything, and then hopefully I could sign pro after. And that it just happened to work out that way.
How many years were you at?
I was there for 3.5 years, so like basically 4. So they do a good job, like putting, like, if they see like a player has the potential to go pro and stuff, they'll like try to like get them to do summer school so they can actually finish their degree and then go pro, because obviously you'll miss that last semester because the draft's in like January. So yeah, they just pushed me towards doing summer school and everything, which was crazy because I went from doing no classes in high school to doing more classes earlier on in Syracuse. But yeah, like, and then I finished school in 3.5 years, and then I went to the draft.
How was it living obviously on your own? Like, you're obviously accustomed to it already because of the European tours you're doing by yourself, but obviously staying away from your family, even obviously during the summertime as well. Yeah. Did they visit you often? Like,
yeah, I mean, my family came down, and then I would come back up like when I had breaks and stuff like that. But yeah, it wasn't a problem. It wasn't a problem for me because I was so accustomed to it from an early age. So yeah, I think that's what, traveling and stuff like that at an early age kind of adapted me to. So yeah, I didn't really have a problem with it. I was good at living on my own. I was good at, cooking for myself, all that stuff that comes with it. So it didn't really faze me.
You're with teammates though, no? Living
yeah,
with teammates?
You live with teammates. You'll have like at least 1 or 2 of your teammates as your roommates and everything like that. And they're all like cool guys and stuff like that.
No, for sure. Yeah.
So yeah, and then obviously like there was 2 guys that were there that were Canadians that I knew of before. So Skylar Thomas and Jordan Morale. So they took care of me and everything like that.
Sweet.
Too. Yeah.
Nice.
What was that student athlete life like?
It's don't even get me started. But yeah, like that was amazing. I remember when I went on my official visit, like what was it? I went on my official visit, and I was like, the guys were the coach was taking me around campus and everything like that. And then it's like, like the scenes you see in movies when like everybody gets out of class and there's like people walking in every direction. Yeah. And then I remember like there was like a million girls like walking around. I was just like where's this coming from? Like, yeah. And then the coach was just like, yeah, the school is 60% girls, 40% guys. I was like, all right.
Nice.
That's the right 1, 2.
This guy came for the footy and stayed for the shorties.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it was a good time. Like Syracuse it was a good environment. It was like there was no professional teams, like any sport professional teams around the area. So like the locals looked at Syracuse to be their professional team. So yeah, we had a lot of like local support and everything like that. A lot of locals came to the games and stuff. And then obviously the students as well. So it was a good environment.
Awesome. I love it.
So being a starter all 4 years at Syracuse is pretty damn good. But did they make any adjustments to your game when you were there?
Yeah, I think like I remember when I first went there, I was struggling because I feel like even from Canada to America, there's still a jump there, especially in the physicality. They breed athletes over there, so. Yeah. I think like that's what I was struggling with because obviously coming from Sigma, we were more tactically focused. So when I went over to Syracuse, it was another adjustment I had to make, which was the physical part. So I remember the first like 3 games that I started, I was cramping in like the 60th minute. It was tough, but I mean I got through it. But like that's just the biggest thing I had to overcome there was the physicality, and then once I got the hang of that, it was lights out.
What was like the best you guys did in terms of like the season, in terms of like the outcome?
My junior year, we were ranked number 1 for a big chunk of the season.
Oh wow!
Then we went to the Final Four. And then we lost in penalties in the Final Four, which was heartbreaking. I remember if we won that game, and then if Akron won that game, I would have played Richie in the finals.
That would have been crazy.
That would have been emotional, bro.
I know. I would have played Richie in the finals, but it all comes full circle. I like literally when I went to Syracuse, I played Kwame a bunch of like almost every year. I played Richie 1 year, Kyle as well too. So it all comes full circle. But yeah, like that junior year was our best year. Final Four, and then ranked number 1 and everything like that. And then we won the ACCs as well too.
Dope.
So obviously at this point you're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Is it coming like real to you now that you could actually become a pro?
Yeah, I mean, like definitely, when you're ranked number 1 and everything like that, you're going to the Final Four, then you start to see like, what it actually feels like to be a pro. You go to these nice hotels. We were sponsored by Nike. You have Nike sending you care packages and stuff like that.
That's
you see like the kind of the kind of lifestyle and everything like that. And then obviously I'm seeing like, my friends going pro and everything. So I'm like, okay, like I'm just like at the same level as these guys. I have the potential to do this. So yeah, you just start to like work just like that much harder and everything like that. You have, when you're playing against big teams, big schools and stuff, I'm playing against Duke or I'm playing against like Wake Forest or Clemson and stuff like that. I have the coaches coming up to me after the game and saying, you're one of the toughest like forwards that we had to like face this year. And, like I'm taking that to heart and everything. And, I'm trying to, stay focused and everything like that. But it's like, you have to take that feedback and be like, okay, like these coaches see it. And so, why don't I see it and everything like that, and just push forward.
So you were really like confident in your ability. You weren't really doubtful at all, or like you never had like tough moments in your career where, like, is this for me? Can I still do it?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Like, I feel like the first couple seasons at Syracuse were tough because I remember our first season, we didn't even make the tournament. We went home early, and I was just like, okay, like, did I make the right choice coming here, and stuff like that. Like, I remember we played Notre Dame. We got killed. That was my first ACC game. We got killed 4-0. I was just like, oh my god, like I think I made the wrong decision. But yeah, like you push through, and then it's like, okay, like after that we beat the junior year, we beat Notre Dame at their home for the finals of the ACC, and then it's like, yeah, like everything has its ups and downs. You just gotta like kind of like ride it out. But I think, yeah, like I definitely had like those moments where I was just like doubtful and stuff like that. Like I think everybody does, but yeah, you just kind of have to like go with the flow and kind of just try to stay confident.
Did you have like teammates who kind of like went to the same route as you but ended up like coming home early, or like didn't have the same opportunities as you, that holy, like this guy was not better than me, but like this guy was a great player, like I'm surprised he didn't have the same opportunities as me. If he did, he would have been further. Or like just kind of comparing your run in your career to like other teammates of yours.
Yeah, I think I definitely had, like, I feel like the whole 95 age group, like, I think all of us had the potential to go pro. At least 90% of the team had the potential to go pro. It's just that, yeah, you don't see a lot of guys get the opportunities, especially like, like back then when there wasn't as many opportunities in Canada soccer and stuff. So, you see me, I had a lot of opportunities. I'm grateful for that and stuff like that. But I think that a lot of those guys that I played with could have been right there with me. A lot of them could have been on trial with Liverpool and everything like that. And that's why, like, I was as good as I was back then, because I was training with these guys every single day, basically. And they were pushing me, I was pushing them. So yeah, I think like if these guys had the opportunities that, that I had, or like a little bit more exposure or something like that, they could have been playing pro. They would have even had a longer career than I have. Because, like, even when you go, like, when I go to America and stuff and I play with guys over there and I ask them about their paths and stuff like that, they're playing on, like, smaller colleges or whatever it may be. And then now they're still, they're playing pro, and, like, they could be playing pro in, like, MLS or USL, and they're doing really well for themselves. So it's just all about, like, opportunities, timing, and everything like that. And sometimes it's unfortunate, but sometimes guys don't get that because it's not every player is going to get that. Yeah,
it's just being there at the right time, right place, around the same right people, and just the opportunity to take advantage of them, right? Because, like you said, one day you're in the college route, and like you said, like you could have dropped out easily early, like not dropped out, but you're contemplating if you made the right decision where you stuck through it. Some players have been like, I'm going home. This isn't for me, right? So that's true. True.
Yeah, good mindset. So now you become pro. You get officially drafted in the 50. You got 55th overall by Philadelphia Union. Yeah. And then in 2017, then you signed for the second team for 2 seasons. Yeah. And you went on to Forge in the inaugural season of the CPL, and then you won 3. So that's absolutely insane to win 3 with Forge. You were there for the inaugural season. How was playing in Canada, especially in their first season, pretty much ever?
It was honestly, like, it was amazing to see the turnout. I think, like, we almost sold out the whole Tim Hortons field.
That's a great field.
I love that. Yeah, that stadium is so nice.
So I think we almost sold out. If we didn't, there's like probably like 3,000 seats left or something like that. But
it's a big stadium.
It's a big stadium. But yeah, it was amazing to see the turnout and everything like that. Like, I was nervous. Like, I was nervous playing. I remember. What was it? I think the first the first time the ball came to me, it was Kwame. I think Kwame like chipped the ball from like left back to like left wing to get it to me. And then I put my foot up to like try to bring the ball down. It just went right under his foot. I was like, oh boy. I was like, here we go, man. But yeah, like then I settled into the game a little bit. But
this is the first game.
This was the first ever game. And I was like one of the first signings too, right? So everybody's like expecting me to be like amazing, and then that happens first. I'm like, here we go, man.
How do they recruit you, and how do they reach out to you? Because obviously even coming again like with Kwame, and like you're coming together again and playing together, like
so I mean, like obviously Bobby was the coach and everything like that.
Right,
so like you know the tie was there and stuff. So like they were kind of telling me about it when I was at Philadelphia and everything like that. So it was just something they were like kind of telling me like, yeah, this is what Canada soccer has going on. This, you know, the CPL is gonna be a thing next year, and then we would love for you to come and be one of the first signings and everything like that. So you know, I was like, okay, yeah, I'll keep it in my mind as an option and everything. And then the opportunity came, and you know, I was just like, okay, I think this might be the best thing for me. And I made the decision to do that and move back here because I just wanted to be a part of something bigger, and like that's my whole thing is like I wanted to provide kids with like the opportunities that I had growing up and stuff like that, and that's kind of what the CPL's whole mission statement was. So yeah, I just wanted to be a part of that. Yeah,
just obviously being a face to kind of like the inaugural season, and being part of that was definitely huge for yourself.
So yeah, it was a good experience and everything, and definitely don't regret that decision.
No, how many teams were there back then?
I think we opened with 6 teams.
6 teams. Yeah, and you guys destroyed it.
Yeah,
3 times.
It was basically just Sigma playing against everybody.
Was it 3 in a row?
3? No, it was 2. It was back to back. Then we lost, and then we won.
Oh yeah.
And then they have what do they have now? Like 5?
It's 5. No, is it 5 now?
I think so, something like that.
I think so.
It's crazy.
Ford is different, man.
Yeah. Forced to be reckoned with.
How do you see the CPL progressing right now? Would you like make any changes to that you think it would help progress the league a little bit, or I think it's doing good right now?
I mean, it's not bad right now. I think it's growing. Obviously, I think there needs to be more money involved put into it. I think that's the only way, or not the only way, but that's a big part of it and how it's going to grow. You go to America and you see like all these leagues and they start out and stuff, and they're already ahead of the CPL. I feel like with like pouring money into it with all the opportunities and everything. But yeah, other than that, like I think obviously it comes with the money's part too. Is like there needs to be more teams involved. And then like if you boost the salary caps and stuff like that, which I think they just did recently, you're going to be able to attract more players and put on more of a spectacle and everything like that. But yeah, I think it's doing well, especially with the player development. Obviously, that's like their mission statement. So you see a lot of young kids getting opportunities and whatnot. So yeah, I think like if they can keep pushing those opportunities and obviously give kids the opportunities to go and play overseas and stuff like that by giving them more exposure. I think that's really going to help.
For sure.
I know some of the issues now that we're facing with the league, and I think it's just kind of like maybe some of the ownerships. Yeah. They kind of like thought of it as like a get-rich-quick kind of scheme, and it obviously isn't, because if it's something that's going to be inaugural, something new, something fresh, time. And it's still in its like literally infant stages of its development. And some of these cities, not for anything, but Hamilton too, it's a new sport that's brought to them. And likely, not for anything, but I think Hamilton has one of the larger and stronger fan bases because of the area that it's in, obviously, and compared to obviously Halifax too. Like it's just like the local team, as like you said for Syracuse, like the locals are really taking part of it. Some of these ownerships are thinking like, you know what, we're not making money from this, or we don't see a future in this. Whereas like we know it's still going to take some time. How do you think some of the greatest clubs in the world did it? Like they didn't just go in.
Didn't happen overnight,
right? So I think we're seeing some clubs now. I'm not sure, Valor or someone. They're still like their ownerships are kind of like being discussed. Now, I think I saw like
Valor and Pacific.
Well, even New York United was facing that one point. I think
they just got
right. The Mexican group there. But again, like it's a new league. The fan base obviously needs to come. It's going to take its time. But we see the players coming in. They're great players. It's still great football. But just somehow get the community still involved more. Which is huge.
Yeah, I think just going off of that, I think like obviously everything takes time, and that I think you said it spot on. Is like a lot of the ownerships or whatever it is, like they just think of it as a kind of get rich quick scheme. But yeah, like if you want to create, like if you want, their whole mission statement is like basically to develop players and everything like that. Like no player develops in like 1 year or whatever it is.
For sure.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So like it's gonna be something that has to be long term.
It's gonna be tough, right? Because even obviously some of these teams don't really have like that youth development step, or they're kind of choosing from some of the local clubs or even from like League One teams. And obviously some of their coaches obviously have some of the players that they bring along with them, like you said, even with Bobby, like yourself. But yeah, like, you know, some of these teams in Europe, like the family is ownership of the team, but, you know, they're football fans too, whereas some of the ownerships here, they're just businesses.
Yeah.
Money, throw it in, hopefully money comes back. Whereas like they're not fans of the sport themselves, so how do you expect to see them putting their time into it? Are they present at the game? Are they bringing their families to the game to watch it? It's a whole process, and like it needs to come down to like the very last person to be involved. So
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm choking up over here.
You're good, dude.
He's emotional.
I think and I think like another thing is like I think the teams need to get like academies like of their own involved, right?
Sure,
So like I think that's a big reason why like Forge did so well, because all the Forge players, like, or the core group of the Forge players were Sigma players, and then the guys that we picked for like developmental contracts or whatever it was, like the younger guys, were Sigma guys. So like we all knew this, and then our coach is a Sigma coach. So like we all knew the system and stuff that he wanted to play. So we were all on the same page. Whereas like, you know, you see other teams, like they're getting like you might have like Halifax getting like young players from like Vancouver or something, like where like it's just two opposite ends of the world or the country. And then like we were just a step ahead because we were all just on the same page. And I feel like that's what kind of, you know, separated us and got us to win those many championships, because we started a step ahead and then we just kept building off of that. Whereas like guys like other teams, they're signing, they sign players, and then even their core players, they're just like shipping out the next year because they didn't win. And then they're bringing in all new players, and then they're trying to like build a new plan and everything, and then their coaches are
every year.
It's like a get rich quick scheme,
exactly,
right? Like
so there's no infrastructure there.
That's the thing with Hamilton, and like we saw with Bobby too. Like obviously bringing you guys in initially was a huge part because he knows you guys already. He grew up playing with you guys into your style, your football, and he has his tactics and his like really philosophy of the sport, where it was kind of easy for him to start, but at least he's continuing that with some of the players he has now. And not for anything, it's good that he is winning and has a strong core to begin with, where he can bring some of these new guys in there and kind of just keep it going. But some of these other teams, like it's recycle, repeat. Hopefully the next one we get it right. It's like, and that's the thing too, really just connecting with some of the local clubs to bring those players and develop them, right?
The blueprint's right there with Forge. You see the success they've had. You just have to copy and paste. And
I think Halifax got it right, because now they brought in Patrice
Yeah.
and Jordan, and now they're bringing in a bunch of Vaughan players. So.
That's the thing, right? Like, trying to get a coach or even like a system involved where they can bring their philosophy and their players with them is key. Not for anything, obviously bringing some of these new coaches who is not new to the game, but new to the Canadian football, and not really having some players that they've trained or coached before that are part of the game now to kind of bring along with them. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, right? And you know, there's different parts of the game that we all need to see grow, but it's looking good so far. It's looking good so far.
It is.
You think Bobby can coach Canada one day?
Yeah, I mean, I think he can. Like half the players on Canada, he's already coached. So, but yeah, no, I think he definitely can, and I think like, you know, that's what Canada needs as well too, is that that philosophy and creating a culture and everything like that. You know, you see, obviously, I'm gonna go off Brazilian style again, but you see, like Brazil has a style of play. They have a way of playing, or like teams that do well, like Spain or Germany. Like they have a way that they play, and they stick with that way that they play. And you know, no matter what pieces they bring in, those guys know how to play that style. And I think like that's what Canada's still trying to figure out. We have all the talent. You know, you see, we have guys that are, you know, for example, like Kyle, he's going to Spain, he's killing it, popping in goals. We have Tejan, who just went to Inter, and he's doing well and stuff. Like we have guys that can go out there and play and do well and play against these guys that are playing at top clubs and stuff. So when they come back here, it's like, why don't they do as well? Because there's just not that culture that you know that these clubs out there that they're playing with have already. So I think like, yeah, if we can get that and build, you know, a culture and a way of playing, a philosophy and different tactics and stuff like that, and kind of like, keep that going, I think like Canada will be in a good spot. But you have to be willing to commit like 5, 10, 15 years to that stuff, right?
It's gonna take time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Did you ever think of like the development route as like a career for yourself in terms of coaching or training?
Yeah,
players?
I mean, everybody asks me like, okay, are you gonna like coach now, or like, because that's what every player does and stuff like that. But like, I was like, nah, honestly, like I used to say like back in the day, I used to say, yeah, like I wanted to create like a academy of my own and everything like that. But then as time went on, I'm just like, I don't think I'll do that. But yeah, I think like if I was to coach or anything like that, I think I would rather do like personal training sessions or small groups and stuff like that.
One-on-one stuff like that.
Yeah. I think I would get more enjoyment out of that. And I think it would be more beneficial to me to do that because I'm the type of guy that like I want to make sure like, okay, if I have one kid, I want to make sure he's good. If I have another kid, and make sure he's good. And then I think like when I start getting to 20 kids and stuff like that, like coaching them at the same time, it's like it's tough to make sure every kid is growing.
Yeah,
For sure. And then
you create more of a bond with, with that
that's
player.
it. And that's the biggest thing to me is creating that relationship with the players and stuff like that. And so
Yeah.
it's a business too. Sometimes you gotta think about it. Am I making the right decisions? Even though this family's gonna give me all the money that I want, does the kid have a future in the sport? You gotta make those decisions sometimes. And sometimes you see it, especially growing up, it's like, oh, this guy sucks. Like, why is his family still like paying all these training sessions for him?
That's true. I just couldn't do that part. that part's not part.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Telling the parents like, sorry, buddy, your kid sucks. No, for sure. Yeah.
So now you move across the pond, to, specifically, we could say Finland, to Sporting Kristina. I'm sure it's pronounced a different way in Finland, but we'll just go Sporting Kristina because I'm not Finnish. Yeah. But what made you make that move over there? And did you think, was that the right move to make?
Honestly, like, so at my last year in Forge wasn't the greatest year for me because of the fact that I was injured. So I was kind of, going through the whole ups and downs, like a big down. So yeah, I was kind of like, I don't know, like I was kind of like losing the passion to play and stuff like that. Just because like it was a reoccurring injury. Like whenever I would try to come back, it would keep going. It would come back and whatever. But I remember I just wanted to like, I was like, okay, like I was having thoughts of like retiring from back then. But then I was like, okay, you know what? Like, let me try to play one more year, or like, let me try to continue at least for one more year. And like, if anything happens, I can know that I played and like I finished with a smile on my face. So I decided to do that. And yeah, it was an amazing experience. I finally got to play like in Europe, and I enjoyed every second of it. And then, yeah, I feel like I ended with a smile on my face, went over there, scored a few goals, played the way I wanted to play, like my style of play, was doing tricks and everything like that. I remember like Kristina, it's a small town. So, I had like the locals coming up to me when I was like, just like at the gym or like stuff like that. They're like, oh, you're a good player. Like, so it's what every guy wants to hear and everything. So like, it was a good time. And I honestly, like, they reached out to me this year and I could have went back. But I just thought that, it just wasn't the best decision for me. And it was time for me to move on from playing professionally. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. It was a good time out there.
What injury was it?
Yeah.
It was, so I tore my quad. I tore my quad. Yeah.
When did that, like the initial injury happen?
So the initial injury happened earlier on in the season. I think it was like May. And then it was supposed to be like it was supposed to be like a 6-week injury, I think. And then it just like, it reoccurred like 2 times. So I ended up being out for like about 3 months, 4 months. And then by the time like I was like back to like being able to play, it was like kind of going into like the playoffs. So then I was just like, I probably wasn't fit enough to play for the playoffs. And Coach Bobby decided like, okay, like he's gonna go with like the guys that are fit in playing and stuff like that. So yeah, I just didn't end up playing really that much. I think I came back and played like maybe 2 games and stuff, and then it became playoff time, and then I was left out of the lineup, and then yeah, so like I'm pretty much missed like most of the season.
Nice, yeah, sucks. Not nice, but
sorry.
So when going to Finland, were you like fit for most of the season?
Yeah.
So this happened at Hamilton.
Yeah, they said this happened
and
at
then you went
Hamilton.
to
and then and then the next year, and then when I went to Finland, I was playing like the the whole time I was out there. I was healthy and everything. So yeah, that's why I feel like I enjoyed it too a lot. Just the fact that I was playing every game. I was even like playing with like the reserve team to just get more games in.
Yeah.
Because I was feeling good. I talked to the coach. I'm like, yo, just put me in. Just put me in. I'll play with both teams. I'll play with the first team. I'll play with the reserve team. I don't care. But yeah, I was enjoying it out there.
That was good. So you're not going back to Finland, eh?
I'm not going back to Finland. I'm not going back to Finland. Love it out there, but yeah, I think it was just time for me to move on.
How's the scenery over there? I feel like it's a very nice country.
Yeah.
It is nice, man. It is nice. Clean country. Like it's really nice, especially like the bigger cities. I went to like a few of the bigger cities to just see what it's all about and everything. It's nice living style over there. Everybody's like chill.
I feel like it's very quiet.
Yeah, it's quiet. It definitely is quiet. The bigger cities, yeah, it'll get like a little bit, it's like a smaller, like Helsinki was like a smaller Toronto.
Okay.
Not as busy though, like not as like fast paced and everything. So that's why I feel like I liked it, because like it was just a way to get away from all the craziness over here that was going on, and it was just like, okay, now I'm across the world.
Mm.
I'm not wrapped up in all the drama back in Toronto and everything like that, and I could just calm down and just focus on footy.
You think there's a lot of drama in Toronto?
Drama
Too
everywhere,
much?
bro.
Yeah.
Drama everywhere.
Drama Island.
Footy drama, or is it a girl drama?
No. just everybody's drama. Man.
So out of all these countries you've been to, which place had the best food?
Which place has the best?
I thought you got something else.
Oh man, the best food. I mean, well, number one is Jamaica, obviously. But I would say like, it's weird because like I feel like America, like I don't want to say America, like, but like you can get any kind of food in America,
Yeah,
so we'll
that's
just
true.
leave that one out. But like,
England or nah?
No.
You didn't rate the beans on toast?
nah, it's not for me, bro. It's not for me.
What is Finnish food like? Do they have like a special, like a specific
Finnish
dish?
food? I feel like schnitzel and stuff like that.
Okay.
Like,
How was that? Was that
it was
stuff good?
Yeah, that was actually good actually. I remember like the club, they like let us eat at this restaurant. They had a partnership with this restaurant, and they would give us like one meal a day at the restaurant, and like they had like I think it was like every Thursday it was schnitzel, and like I woke up with a smile on my face.
Every Thursday.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty
Schnitzel
good. I won't lie.
Thursday.
Schnitzel Thursdays.
Yeah, but I'm probably somewhere like South America probably.
Okay.
Yeah, this slaps all.
Did you play in South America?
No, but we traveled. We would travel out there,
okay.
especially for when we were playing with Forge and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Preseason and
And
stuff.
not South
yeah.
America, but you also played in Mexico with Canada. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, probably somewhere in South America.
all right. So what? So throughout your whole career, one takeaway. What would it be?
One takeaway.
Put you on the spot again.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would say, I feel like I tell the kids this when they ask me about playing pro and stuff, is just be yourself, man. Like play the way you know how to play. Especially when you go pro, don't lose who you are, because I feel like a lot of coaches, the bad thing I think about a lot of coaches is that they have their playing style, and like they recruit players, they look at players, and obviously you like the player for a reason, but then when you bring them to your club, it's like, let them play the way that they play. Obviously they need to follow like your philosophy and stuff like that, but you recruited them for a reason, so let them play that the way that they that fits the system as well, but show their identity as well too. But yeah, when I talk to kids, I'm like, yo, just never lose a smile on your face. You play you made it this far playing the way you play, so keep playing that way.
Let me ask you this now: if there's one manager, gaffer, do you love to play underneath? Who would it be? Globally, worldwide, retired, present. This will. This decision that you make will
Say a lot about me.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I like it.
Yeah, no.
It's crazy.
Dinosaur football.
Like, honestly, I feel like I'm gonna say like, I feel like I'm gonna say like Zidane.
Ooh,
I'll say Zidane because
winner.
he was an amazing player, first of all, and then not many amazing players end up coaching and doing that like just as well as they did when they were playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So which year are you going into?
What'd you say?
You're being
Which-
thrown
which
to that
year?
Madrid team.
Which
yeah.
year? Which
Oh,
team?
jeez.
You're left winger, so you're taking Ronaldo out.
I don't know. Honestly, I'll just go in net or something. I just change my whole position. I don't know which year I'm going into. Just throw me into any year; it'll be amazing. But yeah, I'll play with Zidane because I feel like he also did a good job, especially, like you have guys like Ronaldo, Bale, like you have all these guys that are big players and stuff. And he did a very good job of, letting those guys play the way, like what I just said, letting those guys play the way that they know how to play, but also like, keeping them in check and like, you have to do this, you have to do that.
Big egos, right?
Yeah, exactly. Dealing with a lot of big egos and big personalities and stuff. And I feel like, he's still a young guy, so he can really connect with players and stuff like that. And he's played the game, right? So like I feel like in Canada, especially, like we have a lot of coaches that haven't actually played at that level.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like what they don't understand and stuff like that. So like some coaches do, but some coaches don't. But I think like Zidane obviously understands, the playing, the playing professionally and everything like that, and then coaching. So he really knows how to connect in that way. So I think it would be
do you think that's why some of these European coaches get their respect in a way because of like their because of their past, because of who they were? Yeah. For example, like even today, like looking at a coach like Xabi Alonso, right? What he's been doing with Leverkusen, and like not for anything, like that's kind of like one of his first like biggest clubs to be coaching at, and like what he's done with some of the players. And not to say that his team has a lot of big egos, but like younger guys, developing them differently, and just seeing how well he's doing compared to others. Not really coming to mind, but just being able to show what you did as growing up as a footballer to now putting it on paper and now showing the next generation how it's done.
Yeah, I think like there's guys like that, like when they've actually played and you've seen them play and like they've done it, they played at the highest level, they've won trophies and stuff. They just you have to give them respect. Yeah. Like if I walk into a team and Xabi Alonso is my coach, I'm like,
you're keeping quiet.
I'm just like, all right, let's tell me what to do. Like, I'm gonna follow your go. But I feel like like especially you see guys like what's a big one? I feel like even Xavi, like at Barca, like like even I feel like even if Messi was to go to Barca and stuff like that, like Xavi like would be in his ear, like, or whatever. Like obviously like they have the respect for each other, but Messi would, like, anything he would say, Messi would listen to him.
No, for sure.
Even though Messi's like the number one player in the world. Like I feel like there's guys like that, like even if like you've had a better career so like than that guy,
respect.
It's just a respect thing. Like he's been through the same trials and tribulations you've been through. He's been successful and everything like that. So he has something to teach you. So
no, for sure. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Chris, if you could go back and change one thing in your career, would you? Or would you keep it exactly how it was?
Tough question.
Change one thing.
Putting on a spot, back to back.
Never said this was an easy podcast.
Change one thing in my career. Honestly, like I don't think I would change. I don't think I would change one thing in my career because I think that was my path, and that was the path that I was meant to play. Could it have gone different ways? Maybe, but I don't think I would change it. I enjoyed it. The ups and downs. That's a part of the journey, and that's the part that means the most. That's where the actual memories come from.
Yeah, it's not like you had a bad career. You had a fairly good career. So.
Yeah, for sure.
So, let's talk about Canada soccer again. So, from when you started and from where you are now, have you seen a change in the infrastructure and how like the youth programs and everything, have they gotten better or is it very similar still?
I think it's gotten better. I think the coaching or the infrastructure is there. I think it's just it's still at the beginning stages. But you see a lot of these academies run like better, more professionally and stuff like that. And a lot of these teams, doing well in that sense. It's just that there's still a gap. There's still a gap, and that's just gonna close with time. But yeah, I think it's definitely better than before because before, like when I was playing, it was like players' dads who were coaching and stuff like that. Like so yeah, we just went out there, kicked the ball around, and went home. But yeah, it's definitely getting more professional, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so one last question of your on-pitch career before we got to your off-pitch career. Was there a lot of 1995 ballers that didn't get a chance that you know of?
Oh, for sure.
Just because infrastructure happened and they didn't get a chance?
Bro, for sure. I would say like I'll just name two. So one is one guy that he's a part of my outside of soccer, like my business and everything like that. He cuts hair as well too for with the brand and everything. Markel. So yeah, and this guy was a baller, bro. Growing up, like when we were playing, he played for Brampton with us. He was a striker. This guy was like the smallest guy. He was like literally it was like Messi when he was smaller. Like he was the smallest guy. Like he needed like growth hormones. And shit like
That's crazy.
and like it was so funny. He was like little guy, like short hair, and then he had like a rat tail. We always pick on him for this. He had like a rat tail.
That's that guy back in the day, bro.
Yeah, he had like a rat tail coming, and then he would wear a headband, but he would wear a headband around his neck. And he would play with the headband around his neck. It was the funniest thing. But he was like,
character.
yeah, it was the funniest thing. But he was like just dribbling players and everything like that, and it was insane. So like,
baller,
he went out to college and stuff. He just never got the opportunity to play pro. But he's a baller, and then there's another guy like that played with Uruguay with Richie and those guys. I feel like he's still to this day like right now he's like the futsal legend. But Christian Samniego, he was a baller. He played with Sigma and stuff, and then. He was a holding mid, and like when I tell you a guy that can control the game, like he wasn't athletic, he like was a little bit heavier set and everything like that too. He moved it like literally would move at his own pace. If he was like, okay, if we're going 100 miles per hour, because we had like all the fast guys, we had Kwame, me, Rich, we had Kyle, like. We had guys that were just up and down, and if he put his foot on the ball, we're like, okay, all right, buddy, all right, it's your time to shine.
This
like,
guy's setting the tempo.
Yeah,
bro.
he was like, it's insane, man, it's insane. And now he's playing futsal, and like he's like drinking beers, like and just playing futsal, but he's still doing the same thing, just like shielding guys off, like
never
controlling the
changed.
game. I'm like, yo, this guy didn't lose it at all.
He's doing his thing. Though.
Straight ball roll. Bro.
Yeah, so there's a lot of guys, but like at first. The first two that came to my mind were those.
Yeah, because I'm sure there's a lot that missed out, maybe of every age group because of our system. But hopefully it could get better and we could get there. But now let's talk about your brand, pretty much your streetwear brand, your barbershop. So what inspired you to start your brand?
Honestly, I think it was like kind of like always there since I was traveling as a kid and stuff. Like I feel like I was like, if you know me, like all the guys that know me is like, I was the kid who had the crazy hairstyles, who, would come back. Like I'll come back from Europe dressed up in like European like gear and everything like that. When everybody's dressed up like in like baggy stuff, I'm like wearing like nice fitted pants and all this stuff, like dressed like as a real like Euro guy. But yeah, like I just like fell in love with like fashion and everything, traveling and everything like that. And then I was the guy that had all the crazy hairstyles. Like I'll go to barbers and tell them, okay, like I want like Neymar's haircut, and they'll be like, how the hell do I do that? And then, but yeah, like that was just me growing up. And then like I think when I first started cutting hair when I like left high school, when I went off to college, and I started like cutting my own hair and stuff. And then guys were like, yo, like why is you like, I was only doing like my lineup and everything. I wasn't like fading or anything like that, but like. Because they're like, yo, why is your lineup always fresh? I'm like, oh, I do my own hair. And they're like, oh, can you just like try to cut my hair? I'm like, hey, we could try, man. We could try. It might not be good, but we could try. And then and then I just kept going, and it got better and better. And then with the fashion, I was always the guy that like, would dress like crazy and wear all these different things and bring stuff back from Europe and whatever. And everybody like kind of like noticed it and stuff. And then it kind of just grew on me.
Yeah, great.
Were you lining up teammates at like camps and like during the season?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I remember even when we were in Philly, I remember when I was training with the first team and stuff, they had an actual, because another guy on the team cut hair on the first team, and they had an actual like barbershop chair in the locker room.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, oh, this is nice, man. I get used to this. And then just like I remember. When I was out, every team I went to, I had like guys on the team that I was cutting hair. Even when I was in Finland, I was cutting guys' hair.
You brought your gear with you.
Yeah, all the time. No matter, it was me, my gear, and my boots. And
Nice. I love that.
Yeah.
So you always had an interest in cutting hair then?
Yeah, I
it's
think
not just a new thing then.
Like
I always had it. It's been like 10 plus years now. So
as well as fashion, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like, it's just been a whole growing process.
Yeah, it's great. So do you have any goals for Kicked Up Culture at the moment that you want to kind of get to?
Yeah, my dream is to open up like a store, like a storefront. I want to have a store where like half barbershop, half store kind of thing.
That'd be cool.
So yeah, like I want it to be like a kind of like a one-stop shop for multiple things. If I was to, my other dream is to like obviously just work with my boys. Like one of my boys that I mentioned, Markel, he cuts hair with me. We grew up together. So when I was telling you guys about the stories when we were like kids, like I had a ball at my foot since I was a baby. He was right there with me. Because our older brothers played on the same team.
Nice.
So our families knew each other ever since I was born and everything like that. So yeah, we work together now. And then like I have my boys like Duran, who's doing personal soccer training and stuff like that. And I'm gonna end up sponsoring it for him. So they're gonna be wearing like all the gear and everything like that too. I think like that's another way I'm gonna try to stay in touch with the game and stuff. So I just want to have like all my boys that I've been like friends with from like back in the day, just like all of us working together, like sort of like you guys are here now. So yeah, that's the goal.
The goal. Awesome.
Makes
I
it more
love that.
fun.
No,
Yeah,
it makes
exactly.
you appreciate it.
Exactly.
Makes you wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
I go see my boys.
I'm sure sometimes you guys want to rip each other's heads off too. Throw a couple mics around.
Well, we just tell him Nuve sucks all the time, so we rip on him. And then these guys, the Barca, the Brazilian fans.
Yeah.
Barca sucks too.
So, if you had a collab with anybody in the world, your dream collab, who would it be?
For the brand, yeah.
For the brand,
Yeah.
yeah, of course, yeah.
I feel like dream collab for the brand would be like, I think it's like another guy that's like has over the years has been like known for like his fashion off the field, and then like also like on the field he's just a baller, which is my idol, which would be like Ronaldinho.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I think that would be probably a dream collab. Ronaldinho, like Neymar, like the Brazilians obviously, but like Ronaldinho would be like,
Get out of here,
Yeah.
the Brazilians.
I got you, bro. Don't worry.
Yes.
Were you Hummel Hexa for the World Cup that just passed by? Were you hopeful?
No, they're not winning a World Cup anytime soon.
2026, bro. Just
No, I
watch,
don't wanna hear
just
it.
Watch, bro.
Do you think so, or what do you think? Winning the World Cup?
I don't know, man. Like, I feel like Brazil, like, I feel like they
Fell off.
no, they didn't fall off. I feel like just the players, like, they want to make it more of a spectacle than actually like win. You know,
Mm.
obviously
see
they
that.
want to win. Obviously they want to win, but like, I feel like when it comes down to like teams that are gonna play like that are gonna be like nitty gritty and stuff like that, like you have to have that side to you too as well.
Like, who wants it
And-
more?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like that's where I think like they might struggle.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think I'd watch them any day and support them any day. So
No, for sure.
yeah,
Well, Copa America's coming up. We got Canada, Jamaica, and Brazil all playing in the same tournament.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
I'm gonna tell Richie
Yeah.
to get me a Vinny jersey, bro.
That'd be
Are you
wild.
still well connected with the boys? At
Oh
the
yeah,
national
really,
team?
like we have a group chat that like we talk every single day. Like,
damn.
just, like
Love
me,
it.
Rich, Kwame, and a bunch of other guys.
That's
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All like the Sigma guys from back in the day. So.
Yeah, Kwame was here about a couple months ago. Last year was it last year? Last year
Last
sometime.
year.
Well, obviously, but no, great guys. Obviously, love having them by. So
Yeah.
great guys. What do they tell you about the national team? Are they in favor, or still you can't really make comments about it?
No, I can't comment about that.
No comment. I'm sure you hear things obviously in the chat when they talk about, but you know it's keep it in the group,
Keep it in the chat.
keep it in the chat.
Richie loves the national team. Richie loves it.
No, I know. Obviously, he's getting in recovery now, right? Because of his injury. So
his hamstring. So yeah,
Mhm.
he's recovering. You know, so yeah, I checked in on him like last week and stuff. He's doing well. But yeah, it's like I've been through it. Like that's why I like reached out to him too. And it's like especially the hamstrings. I'm like, listen, man, when guys like us get running and everything, then that's what people see, and they just kick the ball even further, knowing we're gonna get to it. You know? So
yeah, because that's the
something you
thing.
gotta
Is
deal with.
he just
Yeah.
runs.
that's it, man. It's like yo,
It's
like I saw it was like a meme, a Real Madrid meme, and it was like Toni Kroos playing next year. He's like and it was just like him like kicking the ball. And it's like, okay, it doesn't matter. Mbappe's up there, Vinny's up there.
Yeah,
Like,
literally.
like, let me just
If
kick
someone's
it.
up there, bro.
Somebody's up there. Like, and, like, you know, that was like my whole career basically.
That's the thing. Like these midfielders make you guys put in the work, and
Yeah,
that's why
man.
you guys are the ones out there getting injured, tired. But
Yeah,
like
man,
the guys in the midfield are just
I remember
My
when
pace.
I was at Forge and I was coming back from a hamstring injury. We had it was all fun and games and stuff, and we had guys like we were doing like finishing drills where you like play like build up play and stuff. You build it up and then you knock it out wide. We get down the line and cross it and stuff. I was coming back from hamstring injuries and guys are like knocking it further down the line.
right
And
in the
they're like,
corner.
yeah, Chris, just want to test out the hamstrings. I'm like, wow, man.
Yo, chill.
Yeah, I'm like, I just came back, bro.
Jeez.
Oh, so if you had Dino with a collab, are you cutting his hair or what? Or you're not touching
No,
that?
his hair is a trademark, bro. It's iconic, bro. It's iconic. Yeah, I can't touch it. Maybe we'll make a video, be like, yeah, we're cutting his hair, and then be like, psych. But
Can't touch that.
yeah,
Little
can't touch
lineup.
it, bro. Yeah.
So what made you decide to kind of join the two together? So streetwear and your barbershop, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean the whole like message or what I like, like the whole message about it is just confidence. I feel like that's like a thing that I've had like growing up, and I've also struggled with. So I feel like that's like the whole main thing that I want to focus on is like providing people with confidence. Like, okay, when you get a haircut, like that's when guys feel their best. Like they feel the most confident, and everything like that. And then also like when you buy like new shoes, you buy new clothes and stuff like that, you look good. It's
Look
like
good,
confidence,
feel
right?
good,
Look good,
play good.
play
Yeah.
good. Exactly.
Yeah, I
right?
love
So, I was definitely in the mirror before stepping on the pitch and stuff. But yeah, like I think like that's the main focus is like trying to help people feel confident and everything. So yeah, that's kind of like why I like joined the two together. And then I feel like the whole fashion stuff like side of it started because of the haircutting stuff. So like I remember it was 2018, the end of 2018 when I started the haircutting, actually like a business to it. And I just decided to like, make t-shirts and stuff with the logo on it, just to like wear around while I'm cutting hair and stuff. And then like people like saw it and they're like, oh, like, how can I get a t-shirt and stuff? I'm like, oh, like people want to support and everything. And then people started loving it. And I kind of fell in love with like the designing process. And then I'm like, you know what, like let me just try to make some clothing and stuff. And then I did, and people like took to it quickly and started loving it and everything. I'm like, you know what, this is another thing I'm interested in. And, I just ran with it.
Do you do all the designing yourself?
Yeah, I do all
Awesome.
the designing myself. And yeah, and then I, do all the talking to the manufacturers, everything. Like,
One man team.
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. So, yeah, when it comes to the fashion side, that's all me. And then like I mentioned before, like the haircutting side, it's me and my boy Markel.
Awesome.
And,
Nice.
yeah.
Do you like that it's only you, or would you rather have someone by your side right now?
No, I think I enjoy that it's it's only me, and because like yeah, growing up I feel like I've always been doing things on my own. I've had to growing up because all the traveling and everything. But I definitely like see me having like a team to work on it and stuff like that in the future and stuff. And I feel like like working with people too is nice, especially because like they're gonna have ideas that I don't have and stuff like that, and it's gonna be a way to connect with more people and everything like that. And that's a big thing that I have with the brand is like working with like local people. And if you go to the page and stuff, you see like we've worked with a lot of like dancers. We worked with a lot of photographers, different photographers, videographers, athletes and stuff like that. And we continue to do that. And that's like the main thing I'm trying to build is a community.
Yeah, community collaboration with different people and just being involved in like the growth of the sport too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you recommend more footy players go chase their off-field passions, such as you, like you did, kind of?
Yeah, I think I feel like that's kind of like what saved me mentally is like I had something to go to when I was injured and when I was at my lowest when it came to soccer and stuff. So I would say go chase it as long as like it's not affecting like your playing. Like obviously you got to know that like and you got to know like okay, if soccer is your number one passion, you got to put more time into that. And but if you have something you love to do or you have a passion for it, then do it. Because like obviously like especially with like the sport, unfortunately, like you never know when your career is gonna be over. Like you can get tackled like the next day and you're done.
Well, it's not a long career to begin with.
Exactly.
Even if you have a healthy one.
Exactly. Right. So like you never know when it's gonna be over with, and you don't want to regret not chasing your dreams or starting that business like last year or the year before or whatever it is. So
yeah. So we have one last question for you. We ask this to everybody. You don't have to. You don't have to say who your favorite player is. This is who you think the best of all time is.
Your GOAT.
Who is your GOAT?
I know you mentioned Robinho earlier in the pod.
yeah.
Don't tell me that that's the same answer, but no, I'm kidding.
No,
Who's your GOAT? Doesn't
My
have to.
GOAT?
Yeah, your GOAT.
Oh man, I've already mentioned a few guys, but like if anybody was to ask me, I'd say my GOAT is Ronaldinho, but I want to give like another answer.
Is he like you think he's the best player of all time?
of all time, when it comes to me, and if I could sit down and watch a player, because like I feel like that's what like my best player is of all time. Like I don't like honestly like the trophies and everything like that. It doesn't really matter because like you can be on a great team, you can have like a crappy player be on a great team and win 1 million trophies. Yeah. But like I would say like the best player of all time to me is like what you like look for in the game. So like I look for like enjoyment in the game. I think like that's what football is all about, is enjoyment, connecting with the crowd, passion for the game, stuff like that. Obviously, you know, being successful and stuff like that, but like that's why Ronaldinho pops into my head, because he's done all those things. Then obviously there's Messi. I would say Messi, the whole debate, Messi over Ronaldo, they're both amazing, and everybody gets on me because I'm a Madrid fan and like I say Messi instead of Ronaldo.
That's kind of crazy, bro.
It's crazy, but you know, I'm a real one. So
it's facts though. So
yeah. So yeah, GOAT of all time. Yeah, Ronaldinho, bro.
That's fair.
I rate it.
Yeah.
Your explanation makes sense. So
yeah.
Do you have anything that you want to plug in before we end it off here?
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, thanks for having me on the show. Go follow my pages and stuff if you want to see what I'm doing after my career, at Kicked Up Culture, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is. And then, you know, my main account, at Chris Nanco. But yeah, like, thanks for having me on the show. It's amazing seeing what you guys are doing here.
Thank you.
I remember, seeing you guys at the FTF event and, you know, selling what was it, the air fresheners. Yeah, that's what caught my eye and everything. And now seeing this going on, it's amazing to see the growth, bro.
No, I appreciate you. Thanks again for coming by. Again, love your story. We love hearing stories of a lot of these Canadian ballers coming up.
Yeah.
But again, we appreciate you. Again, all success to everything now going forward. But thanks again for coming by.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate you, bro.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it, man.
Chris, send us off.
Okay, I'll send it off. Anyway, as you said, make sure to go follow him on those platforms or Instagram platforms. But thank you for listening once again. That was our episode today. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow. And you know who we are.
Culture, man.
Boys. Cheers.
See ya.
With that, we out. Peace.
Awesome. This was great.